Okay, lesson 250. Now I started this yesterday, and then my husband came home and I totally stopped it, and I should have just finished it. But anyway, here we are, lesson 250. Let me not see myself as limited. Let me behold the Son of God today and witness to his glory. Let me not try to obscure the holy light in him and see his strength diminished and reduced to frailty, nor perceive the lacks in him with which I would attack his sovereignty. Okay. So what I was saying yesterday about this was how the lesson is let me not see myself as limited, and then it goes on to talk about let me not see frailty, let me not attack my brother or perceive lacks in him, because it's saying implicitly that then that's directly related to how we see ourselves. So how we see our brother is how we see ourselves. And we had such a great day yesterday, but it totally threw me off because we just had like spontaneous family outing, which was cool. And earlier in the day, I was doing more forgiveness work, and it was so amazing because it just keeps removing all the blocks, all the judgments, and like yesterday I was working on my husband. I don't always work on him, but he's my closest. He's here. He's my teacher, and he just kept becoming more and more innocent and loving and helpful and kind. And I actually was able to bring that awareness into the rest of the day, and we had a beautiful time. And it's so encouraging to me that we can have difficulties with people, and then if we're willing to do forgiveness work, which our former lesson, I think it was just the day before or 2 days before, it's the key because it brings us back to the truth. It brings us back to not seeing any limitation or any wrongdoing or any lack or frailty. It's affirming the truth, and it's totally worth doing. And when this lesson was talking about not perceiving the lack or frailty or vulnerability in our brother, I was going to, this is where I stopped the video, but I was going to talk about my mom. It's a very simple example. I don't think I shared it already, but when she was visiting a month ago, we were at our friends Rich and Karen. They tune in often, and they live at this place that has a gorgeous lake. It's clean, it's warm, it's wonderful. So Justine, my mother, and I went there. We were swimming, and at the time, their Rich and Karen's daughter's family had brought this like floaty, kind of like, it was a big floaty like boat. I want to call it a boat, but it had a cover, so it was really cool. Like you're in this little, like a small boat. I'm just gonna call it a boat. I can't think of anything else. But to get into that thing was a little tricky because it's floating. It's not far from, it's not far from the edge of the lake. You just get in, you walk in, and then you gotta jump up and get into this float. And I found this way that it was pretty doable, because otherwise all the kids were saying, oh, all the adults look like, funny beach seals or whatever. They're like, just like the adults have a hard time getting in. And my mom was at first having a hard time getting in. But I had this knowing, like, don't tell her how to get in. She'll figure it out. And then I started like instead of, because she wasn't giving up and she was struggling and she was laughing. But I was like, I'm going to affirm that she can do it. I'm going to sit here and think she can do it. And she did. But it's those moments where we might see or judge someone, oh, they can't, they're having a hard time, they need my help, and they haven't asked for it yet. But instead, like, take that time to affirm. My mom might have the most like unique, cool way for her to get in, so don't impose my beliefs on that. Like, let it be. And it's also affirming that my mom is connected with spirit who knows everything. So don't try to interrupt that relationship. So that's a very simple example, because there may be, I know that in my neighborhood, there just seems to be, there's so many kind individuals, like very amazing people. And then there seems to be that I see a lot of people struggling and angry and shouting, and it's not all the time, but it's pretty regular that there's somebody shouting or yelling, and I'm scared. And the other day it happened that somebody like said something pretty vulgar, and I could see that it was this family, and I think somebody took off with their car. And then I just decided, Justine and I were sitting down for dinner, I just decided to pray for that family. And not that they needed prayer, but it was like, affirm that they're connected to spirit, they're working something out. It's not for me to worry about or fix. It might be for me to call the police, but even if it was, that would be for them to be working something out. So it's just trusting. It's trusting everyone is connected with spirit. And the best thing, and like the most helpful way we can be, is to know that, affirm that, and trust that in everyone. So I bless your practicing. We have a new theme starting tomorrow, what is sin? And we're moving on beyond lesson 250. Rocking it. So have a beautiful day practicing. I'm quite late uploading, but all is well. Thank you.